Hello, 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 once again to a Prog Reborn. My name is M. Coastler. We are once again making our way through Final Fantasy XIV. Oh right, I could have just done withdrawal there. Thought it was called dismiss, that's why I couldn't find it. Anyways, we are back with a Prog Reborn. My name is M. Coastler. This is my progression style playthrough of Final Fantasy XIV. If you don't know what that means, you can always look in the description of the video here for a link to my introductory video. And if you happen to be live, you can always type in !intro or that same link to my explanation video on what a progression style playthrough is. If you like what I'm doing, you can always put a like on the stream or the VOD. Either or helps me get seen by the algorithm, seen on YouTube, gets more people to see my content and hopefully enjoy my content and get my name out there. And if you'd like to know when I go live, easiest and best way to do so at the moment is to simply subscribe to the channel, get those go live notifications so you can join on with the fun. And final thing, this is not a React style playthrough. This is a second playthrough or a replaythrough of the game in this progression style. My main character is, as of this recording, up to patch 6.5, the most up-to-date patch on the servers. So if I notice anything that is interesting or I think would provide, cool context to some quest line or some dialogue or whatever from any part of the game, I might bring it up anywhere between where I am now and 6.5. And so if you aren't up to speed with the current game and you are sensitive to spoilers, this is your warning to get out. Anyways, yesterday we mostly did MSQ and got basically all of our jobs up to level 40. We are still waiting on Paladin here, and we can probably do Cutter's Cry to get Paladin up to level 40. Let me double check that there's not anything we're missing on the gear there. And then once we get to level 40, we're going to start our job quest journey for level 40. Unlike before, if you have been following along, mentioned this on the 35 roundup, but if you've been spottily following along, we used to wait until like every 15 levels, but basically halfway through a quarter of a way through the main the highest level you can achieve on here. We used to wait for a little bit before we wrapped all of multiple job quests per job here, but they start doling out more abilities in the job quests, things like prominence here probably, and other abilities that you might be getting in the job quests, as well as at some point they start throwing in gear, which we're going to want to get everybody ready and able to do some things like the extremes and the binding coils. So we're stopping by every 5 levels to go ahead and do those roundups instead of waiting for a bit. So yeah, let's go ahead and get in the queue. for Cutter's Cry with our Paladin here. I don't believe there's anything... Yeah, there isn't really anything left over there. Or... Isn't really any jobs, quests, side quests here for, to pick up. So I think while we're waiting, we can go and grind through some of these. Not map. Teleport. Grind through some of these hunting logs for things that we might have missed. Is the stun here. I think the treants are like, yeah, the snake bolt stuff are a little too high level. We'll just hang out on those. Ready? Funk, no. That's too high level. Where are these Orobons? I think they're down here. Yeah, here they are. So we're in more of Encyclopedia 3. We go into the history of the first, which I think is pretty interesting. I don't remember if I said this yesterday, that I didn't quite realize that there was a sprawling empire. It's not really an empire. Empire is not the right word. Of elves in the first post-Ronkin Empire. And they started going into the history of Ardbert and the Warriors of Light, which was definitely interesting. They go into a lot in game. They go a lot into the history of Ardbert and the Warriors of Light, but they didn't. They finally filled in the little piece that I wasn't fully aware on what happened in the immediate aftermath of dealing with the Shadowkeeper. Maybe they went into it a little bit more in Eden, and I just didn't pay attention as much. But there was in my brain, it kind of was like, okay, they kill the Shadowkeeper, or they kill the Ascians, And then you see the big old, you know, wave representing the flood of light there. And it didn't really, wasn't able to really square the circle with, okay, if the Ascians, or if they killed the Ascians and if they killed the Ascians, then how could, and just like were immediately caught in the wave, then they would have like instantly died. At which point, how could Elidibus have communicated with them? But it really, that's not exactly what happened. And I need to reread it again, but my understanding is they kind of like defeated the Ascian. The Ascian was supposed to die, like all Ascians do, and retreat into the rift between the worlds to then, you know, grow anew. But instead, because of the overwhelming amount of light, represented by the Warriors of Light, they went into stasis, similar to like White Orsite stuff, but really more they became, Metron became Eden, the first Sin Eater. And it seems like the flood of light didn't really like instantly happen. It wasn't just like a, oh, they kill him and then this massive shockwave happens. It was more like they killed them, they started turning, they realized that they weren't winning. They, as in Metron, started turning. The Warriors of Light realized that they weren't winning. And then Elidibus came on by to try and negotiate with them to save their world. The other thing I don't fully understand, and this might again be more me not being fully up to speed with the Eden raids, was it sounded like they were about to screw up again. They're about to do with, because how they talk about it in the Encyclopedia Eorzea, they talk about how they didn't prepare for the Warriors of Light to win. They were hoping that the Shadowkeeper would win. The Shadowkeeper absorbing the things that they cast off. I don't know. It didn't really make too much sense to me there on how exactly the Shadowkeeper was supposed to sort of gain power by just being around. And that the goal, their goal was to try and recreate, or to try and tip it back from light to dark. But then the Shadowkeeper lost and screwed up their plans. So I don't know if Elidibus swooped in to try and rescue the situation, or maybe Metron and Logriff didn't know that they were pawns in Elidibus and the Paragon's game. Got our Q pop, so let's go ahead and do that. Metron and Logriff were pawns in the Paragon's game. Which made them, and this was part of Elidibus's plans all along, to shift it toward light. Boom, 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 boom. Double Machinist. Double Machinist should do wonders to speed through this area, because I think they've already got their AoEs. If they don't have their AoEs, they definitely have pretty high damage at early levels. This is probably the most annoying part of Cutter's Cry right here, because it's the, depending on who you're with, they might try and do the, oh, I'm just gonna run through and not actually do the fight. Boom, 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 boom. There's two things going against me here. I'm only level 39, and also because I'm leveling up all these classes at once, instead of just picking, oh, I'm just going to always pick the thing that is like full plate. It's there for the tank class. I'm picking like Disciple of War gear, which is slightly less armor. No tenacity, stuff like that. So, character is taking a little bit more of a beating than this healer probably expects. Let's see what they do. Do they know that they can assume that? Answer is no. See how they deal with this. There we go, we got to our level 40. Alright, I'm well familiar with the Chimera here. Dragon's voice in, Ram's voice out. All those Palace of the Dead runs. Breath, voice. And our healer's dead. Oh, they saved himself. Still don't know what Medica is, though. Or not Medica, Asuna. Hit again. I focus a lot on the healers because that's what my main job is. Bing. Cool. Then all the way up to 42. Somebody needed these Yarzons. Let me finish out Southern Thanalan before I move on to the job quest roundup. Of these total. Right, you're good. Nope. A bunch. Bump, 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 bump. Okay. Sandworms. You count as sandworms? You. Doesn't seem like that fair of a fight for the Mikote. The sandworm's like 4 levels higher. Getting constantly murdered. Rum bum bum. I wonder why I didn't pick up a lot of these. I wonder if the hunting log was bugged. The last time I left this area. 'Cause I should have been the right level to pick up this stuff. Veteran pikeman. There. Forgetting to update that gear whenever I switch around. Where are the sundrakes? They up north? This area? Worms. No. Dune anglers are. The sundrakes are down here. Where are they? I think I would have spotted some by now. Or if they were right next to me, I just didn't see them. In this corner back here. Yeah, there they are. It's control here. Or just one more. Just one more Cindric. Mage. Sandworms. Well, almost fully out of the way here. And we can get going on our job quests. Just one? Alright. Cool. Back to the Black Shroud. Camp Tranquil. Raya Osina would ask a favor of you. Let's let this train go by first. There we go. I owe you an apology. When we last spoke, I promised that I would find a way to convince my brother to accept you, but I fear he intently refuses to heed my words. Why, the more I try to reason with him, the more he shuts his ears to me. All pride and no common sense, that one. I can scarce believe we are kin. So intent he is to prove that you are unneeded, that he dashed out into the forest alone, boasting that he would placate every last elemental and save the forest all by himself. Needless to say, such a task is far beyond his powers. There's part of me that would like nothing more than to see the foolish boy learn his lesson, and yet, as his sister, I fear for him. Would you go look after him, Mim? Sincere or no, he is in many ways still a child, and the forest grows ever more unsafe these days. I thought to go myself, but if you were to save my brother from his own recklessness, perhaps he might finally see how fatuous, I don't know, he has been. When I last spoke with him, he announced his intentions to begin his efforts in the Bramble Patch. With any luck, you may still find him there. Now, please go in haste before some ill fate befalls him. Bramble Patch is in East Shroud. Boom, 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 boom. Not letting me jump through that hole. Come on. If it is my sister's favorite adventurer, come to show me up, have you? Well, you can march right back and tell sister I'm doing just fine. I'm only resting. Even if I were hurt and able to placate this tree, what could a run-of-the-mill adventurer like you do about it? Placating, placating, placating. Beginner's luck. If you think killing a sapling or two is going to convince me that you are a worthy inheritor of the teachings of Master Altoa. Arun, you yourself do not believe those words. Mister, what are you doing here? Seeing my pig-headed brother's safety, what do you think I'm doing? For better or worse, it would appear you suffer only from bruises to your leg and your pride. Arun, for all your obstinacy, I know that deep down you are no fool. Though you are wise beyond your years, you realize as well as I the dire fate that will befall Gridania if we do not quell the Great One's fury and restore peace to the wood. The adventurer is not Pajali, this is true, but what of it? Would you blindly trumpet tradition as the forest turns against us and brings ruin to our home? We have a greater calling to answer, you know this. I do, sister. Oh, my dear Arun. What sisters are for, if not to forgive their little brother's fits of folly. Now, Em, I believe the most important task of all still awaits us, so let's return to Camp Tranquil. Might be a quick job quest here, which will be nice. Thank you. I knew it was only a matter of time before Arun came around to reason, and yet his hesitance to accept you was not entirely unfounded. When we first met, I promised that one day I would share with you the tale of how white magic came to be regarded as a forbidden art. Well, I suppose this is as good a day of any for the telling. The tale begins some 3 millennia ago in the 5th astral era. It was the time of the endless frost, when a barren wasteland of snow and rime stretched as far as the eye could see. Food was scarce and warmth scarcer. The histories told many a grim tale of those who died in their beds, starving and benumbed. So did our ancestors discover magic born out of the most fundamental instinct, survival. In time, the winter thawed and magic was no longer essential for survival, but once awakened to its conveniences, there was no returning to how things once were. Ere long, the people discovered all the myriad ways in which magic could be employed, and civilization flourished. But prosperity breeds contempt, and nations warred for power and riches. So did the people seek greater and greater power to rain destruction down upon their enemies. so was born black magic, the most devastating form of sorcery the world had seen. At the same time, another form of magic emerged, brought forth by those who would keep this immense destructive power in check. That is, white magic, our magic. Does this surprise you? Just as there can be no dawn without the night, the white and the black are but two sides of the same coin. War raged on, and magic was used and abused with little concern for the consequences. And the consequences there were. Unchecked use of magic soon dried the flow of aether, threatening to bring blight to the land. Magic of healing, it made little difference. If used with no concern for the ether, our magic could prove as ruinous to the land as the most devastating black magic spell. And so it was that practicing of white magic was forbidden, with one exception: the Pajal. Our kind were entrusted as soul shepherds of the now forbidden art, to serve as healers and bringers of peace, while ensuring that this greater power would never again be misused. Though he is still young, our rune feels this profound sense of responsibility as strongly as any of us, thus his hesitance to accept you. But having seen your abilities and the sincerity of your intentions, you can rest assured that his doubts have been dispelled. With the three of us united in peace and in place and purpose, your skills ever growing, the day that we may perform the quieting draws near. To our fortune, the Great One has not yet been entirely consumed by fury, but our time remains short. To commune with the Great One and restore the Twelveswood to its former state of harmony, we must be one of heart, one of mind. To this end, it is to this end that Atawakant has guided us to you. Further your mastery of our art, M, and let us mend the wounds of the wood together. Tier 3. It's a big upgrade. They're not really that used outside of like raids or hard-end content. You're not going to really be casting Cure 3 in a dungeon. Alright. That was white magic. Let's see. To our monk here. Let's go to the bard. The bard is right nearby. Yeah. Hentel would help you to learn yet another melody of the bard. It is good to see you return, M, and more seasoned still for your time in the world. Call me a spoony bard, but as a man in the winter of his years, it gives me great joy to observe an adventure in the spring of his. This is an odd time for recollection, but it was a spring day when a bard first came to my hometown. He played the most sorrowful chords, even as his words tantalized the ear like a breath of one's first love. Many a maiden's heart was stolen during his visit, and doubtless more besides. Would you believe that common bards too were born of archers? This may seem far-fetched upon first hearing, but it isn't so far a stretch. Ask yourself this. What becomes of soldiers when conflict gives way to peacetime? Some have lives they might return to, aye, but most must needs take up a new trade to make ends meet. Well, it so happens that many who had once bent the bow took to strumming the harp. They wandered the realm, singing passionately and earnestly of the war as seen through their own eyes, of sweet victories and bitter defeats, of sacrifice and cowardice. Their songs so captured the imagination of the people, nary a day passed that a bard was not called to perform, be it in a humble tavern or some great lord's hall. Alas, their popularity proved their downfall. Intoxicated by the attentions of the masses, the bards took to embellishing their songs in a bid to outdo one another. And over time, each song was shorn of verity till the bard's repertoire contained not one shred of truth. By now you will know that such songs have no purchase upon men's heart. Certainly a bawdy tune may set off fits of laughter in a sailor, and a sorrowful ballad summon tears from the eyes of a soft-hearted maiden. Yet these are but pale shadows of what songs can achieve. For a blessing, this decline did not escape the notice of the Mughals. As great patrons of the arts, they feared that the true power of song might be lost to mankind. So it was that they labored to gather and safeguard those crystals known as souls of the bard, that they might bestow upon worthy men and women. Now, well as I know you relish listening to my sermons, I dare say it's past time we moved on to the practical side of our lesson. I know I have mentioned it previously, but tell me, are you perchance familiar with the Ballad of the Vainglorious Fool? Now, well as I know... Now, well as I know you relish listening... Oh, wait. Oh, I didn't click. He was just doing something and then decided to go. Nay, well, that won't do. Let me remedy this post-haste. This song recounts the massacre of Griffin's Crossing, a battle that took place decades past, wherein countless Gridanian lives came to a premature end. Ah, but do forgive me, I seem to have mistaken the proper order of things. Before I begin, I must be convinced that the point of the tale will not be lost upon you. Elsewise, I will have wasted my breath in the telling of it. Now, heed well these instructions. You must make your way to Welwick Wood, where resides a mated pair of Aldgoats that have but recently lost a kid. The pair have been driven mad with grief, and only death will put an end to the uncontrolled rampages. Linger in their territory until you encounter the beasts, then let fly your arrows of mercy. As you liberate them from their sorrow, so too shall your soul resonate with the echoes of poignant melody. It was a mercy killing. Actually, this is probably because South Shroud connects to East Thing. Bum, 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 brum, bum, bum, bum. Welcome back, Em. I can almost hear the cries of mourning that have seared themselves into your soul. That you remain unbowed by such anguish is a testament to your spirit's fortitude. Yet even as your heart swells to contain these new experiences, you must not neglect your own skill with the bow. As resilient heart must needs have a robust body in which to beat. Once you've trained both to equal strength, then I shall perform for you the Ballad of the Vainglorious Fool. Aeon's a good one. Alright. Black Mage, that's an Ul'dah. Paladin's an Ul'dah. Monk's an Ul'dah. Dragoons in Kurthus. Warriors in... Where it's the Goldsmith's Guild. Professor Eric seeks further aid in his ethereal research. Ah, dear M, so good of you to trouble yourself to come. Normally I might be cross, but my spirits are far too high just now, and it is you I have to thank. I speak of the data you procured. It is simply marvelous. You have a true gift for grunt work, my friend. I wish I had 100 more assistants like you. Didn't I give him like a nasally voice? I have been in this field for a very long time, and have been alone. Ever since that unfortunate mold tea fungus creature incident sparked my passion for research, I regret nothing, M. Save perhaps to share so wondrous a word with souls as unlearned as yourself. Still, your performance has not left me completely bereft of joy. It is rewarding to think that my instructions have guided you to success. There, how was that? Shall we dispense with any further pleasantries? Well, very good then. I made yet another career-defining discovery while pondering which battleground to measure next. Eorzea is home to numerous locations where the ether is in an intensely chaotic state, yet which never played host to any war. My hypothesis was that such influx of the ether was indicative of a past battle, and all my research was predicated upon this. But turn the theory on its head, M, if your mind is able. What if the people of the past chose areas of roiling ether to hold their battles? I've already sent the simpleton monk to take measurements at fine sandbanks. As you are doubtlessly unaware, this lies on the border between Alamigo and Gridania, and was the stage of the Autumn War. I ask you find our monk friend and collect his etherometer. Manual and tedious, yes, but he has an early make of the device that is unable to transmit data. I gather the numbskull is in Little Alamigo in southern Vanland by this time. You think I ask much of you? False, I ask more. Your other task is to travel to Snakemolt in the South Shroud, and there take measurements with your own etherometer. I will continue with my research here in your absence. Mind you, if you care to know aught at all of the Autumn War and the fine sand banks upon which it was fought, I will gladly enlighten you. You need only ask. Ah, an honest inquiry. That sad, wonderful moment when ignorant curiosity overcomes pride. Right then, let us begin. Oh, I didn't know you had all this shit. The fine sand banks have a rich history indeed. They are found to the west shore of the Veladina River at the foot of the now extinct volcano overlooking Rothlet Sound. The area is a sedimentary basin formed by the deposit of fine silts and sand carried by the river. Today it falls within Gridanian territory, but in days past it belonged to my own home nation, Alamigo. A century ago, King Manfred came into power in Alamigo and decided to expand the nation's territory in order to promote economic growth. To that end, he ordered the Alamigan army to undertake large-scale campaigns that would eventually lead to the onset of the Autumn War. Naturally, such action was met with vehement opposition from the other nations. Gridania, fearing encroachment along its border with Alamigo, placed the renowned lancer Vanchelon in command of its standing armies, and war began. His opponent was Gilbard, the great general of Alamigo, a fervent believer in the Fist of Ralgar, and a man who enjoyed enormous popularity among the Alamigan people. The two leaders were loved by their troops, and at the outbreak of war, morale on both sides was very high. The armies clashed time and again all along the border, neither general yielding an elm. But in a galling twist of fate for Gridania, Vangelon suddenly took deathly ill. After no victory emerged following the Battle of Fine Sand Banks, Vangelon devised a new strategy. He ordered his forces to retreat to Camp Nine Ives, fully intending for Gilbard to give chase. This would lure the Alamegans to territory more favorable and familiar to the Gridanians. He died, however, before he was able to see his plan executed. Now, the man who would replace him, Osborne, was extremely ambitious and eager to prove his worth to the Seedseers, having neither the mind nor the patience for Vangelon's defensive war. However, he ordered a frontal assault on the Alamegan position. When Gilbard learned of this plan, if plan it may be called, he secretly deployed troops to the most vital points along the fine sand banks. The Gridanian forces had scarcely entered the area before they began to suffer heavy losses from highly coordinated Alamegan ambushes. In response, Osborne ordered a forced march, permitting his troops no rest for several days as he attempted to surge through the region. Eventually exhausted, the Gridanians came to entrench themselves on a hill. But this is precisely what Gilbard had wanted. He surrounded the hill with 6,000 soldiers to deny the Forestborn any hope of retrieving water, then proceeded to rain down barrage after barrage of arrows upon the encampment. In this seemingly hopeless position, the morale of the Gridanians quickly dwindled. Following 2 attempts to break free, Osborne himself led the van in the third and final charge. In the end, Gridania was defeated. Osborne and several of his officers were captured, and the legendary staff, Claustrum, lent him by one of the Seedseers, was taken. This abject defeat accounted for what little morale remained among his surviving troops, and they beat a desperate retreat to 5 hangs, with the relentless Alamegans harrying them every step of the way. Gilbard's victory brought him greater accolades from his country, and as a result, both he and the Fist of Ralgar came to wield considerable political power. And that is a brief history of the Fire Sand Banks. No, you needn't thank me. Knowing there is a little less ignorance in the world is all the reward I require. I'll go to the others later. My voice is dying. Woodard Gelt. What's up? You've come far. It is good to see you, brother. You come from my thermometer. It is not ready to give. My work is not finished. I came as soon as I was told, but the readings require more time. Do not worry. They will be ready soon. You make for snake mold in South Shroud. Eric believes the ether strong there, yet that land hosted no great battles. He told me as much this morning. Leave me to my task here. Make for snake mold. Take your readings. My work will soon be done. I will bring the device to you. I have troubled you to come here. I will not trouble you to wait. Go. We will meet again at snake mold, brother. Dun, dun, dun. So it's bringing me in the snake mold. So I wonder if I should take a little time to clear some things out in the snake mold. Oh yeah, I can definitely fight these. They were like close to level 40. Which wouldn't even be a problem then. It must be this area that's too high for me. Anybody else need those in particular? Need will-o'-the-wisps. Somebody needs trance. Was it the black mage? No, it was the paladin that needed trance. Barometer. Hold on, brother. I feel your chakra. It has grown. I hope to arrive before you, but I see I am late. This land's power has gone to you. There is nothing left for me here. It is as I told you. We monks travel where aether flows strong. There we train. The power of the land enters us. Thus our chakra expand. This bonding causes great unrest. The land's energy becomes unstable. It will enter no other until it calms. I feel nothing here, as you would feel nothing at Firesand Banks. That land bonded to my chakra, and its aether is now at unrest. The teacher's work means nothing. I took no readings. I meant to hasten here, but I was delayed. There was a gathering of the monkhood. It was summoned to Little Alamigo. The teacher's chidings. Worry not. I will use my device here. Any result will suffice. The man has already reached his conclusion. He will twist the data to fit it. It is a sad existence, to sacrifice all for truth, yet be unable to truly know when one sees it. I speak not of this to him, brother. You see both our aims. You know mine to be more worthy. I tell this to you and you alone. I am of the Alamigan resistance. I fight for freedom from Garlemald. I escaped the occupation. I have come here to fight, to gather allies and weapons. But these lands sadden me. The people have forgotten. Alamigo is a distant memory. The resistance here is small. They aid where they can, but it is not enough. This war demands great power. That power lies in the chakra. The teacher is not an evil man, but he thinks only of his work, not the suffering of innocence. His knowledge can be used for good. The battlefields, they can turn the tide. The chakra of many must be opened. If this was lost to me, no, I will have this power. I must. To end an oppression. An end to oppression. An end to starvation. Alamigo will be made free. I will see it done. Forgive my speech. It is a matter close to my heart. I will give you my device, but I ask you say nothing of this to Eric. I beg you, brother. Boom, boom. Oh. Now on the mark. You need will-o'-the-wisps. Or will-o'-the-wisps. I knew the guy was Alamagan Resistance because I remember a little bit of the Stormblood questline. I think it has to be the Stormblood questline because there's some quests in Alamagan. Honestly, I don't remember too much of the Heavensward questline for Monk. If it's more continued stuff with Eric and with our guild. I think I was gonna say I think most of the Heavensward quests end up being extensions of the ARR quest lines. Obviously not the jobs that didn't exist in ARR. But I feel like I don't fully remember on Monk, so it's just me kind of guessing. Paladin is definitely more with this whole Sultan's Guard nonsense. Black Mage, I think, stays with Lalai and stays with a Lalai at least. I don't remember if Shatoto even comes into play yet. There. Now we can go back. Trying to think. Bard, I think. I can't remember if Jahentel joins up with the fella, with the other Bard fella for their trip, or if it just springs off from there. Dragoon isn't, well, it kind of sticks with Alberic because Justinian is doing all the stuff in Heavensward, and there's some Dragoons in Ishgard that need your help. It's like a woman Dragoon, if I remember correctly. White Mage, I know at some point they go back to Sophie. But I can't remember if it's immediately. I know they go back to Sophie in Stormblood. Warrior definitely sticks with Curious Gorge. Summoner, I believe, sticks with Anitra, and Scholar sticks with Alcazolca. Then I think for Ninja, they might. I think they only come back to Jackie and the folks in Stormblood. I think they stick with the Domans. In Heavensward. Anyways, back to Eric. I trust you have returned with both my etherometers. Please tell me you fumbling dolts haven't managed to damage either of them this time. An odd contraption borrowed from Wodargelt, used for measuring surrounding ether levels. All looks to be in order here. These readings from your device, they look promising, very promising indeed. I dare say this data may yield revolutionary results. Your chakra opened a bit more, did it? Yes, well, ether is a most mysterious and wonderful thing. I'm glad this meaningful research could serve your nonsensical ends as well. Now lead me to my work. Surely you can find something simple to pass the time. Fighting, say, or, I don't know, scratching. Right, that's the AoE Steel Peak. This one right here. Paladin. Captain Genlands has another lesson to teach you. Welcome, Paladin. You should know that that word of your deeds has reached me. Few are those who follow the true path, the true Paladin path without misstep, but you are one of them. I am proud to call you brother. You have kept the faith, and in return I must have faith in you. It is time that you knew the truth, though it is hard to share, for it is a shame I would rather keep hidden from outsiders. Excuse me. Perhaps you remember when I told you of the traitor and the sword Oathkeeper that he stole. His name was Sulk, and he was my predecessor as captain of the Sultan's Sworn Elite. Yes, he was the same man whom I admired as a child, who inspired me to take up the sword and follow the way of the Paladin. It's the paragon of paladins. Until, that is, he changed. Some years ago, there was a struggle for influence between the Sultanate military and a faction within the syndicate known as the Monetarists. The latter emerged triumphant, and the army's authority was diminished dramatically. Though Sulk was still captain of the Sultan's Sworn Elite, he knew his position was perilous, so he fled, taking Oathkeeper with him. In doing so, he went against the words that he had spoken on bended knee before his royal liege. Now it falls to me, as captain, to restore the honor and the name of the Sultan Sworn. If that means cutting down my former mentor and master, I would do it gladly, for his misdeed cannot be forgiven. But his death will not lift the stain that mars our name. He must be put on trial in a public court, so that everyone knows his crimes. Then and only then can we begin to earn the people's trust again. He served for over 30 years as captain of the Sultan's Sworn Elite, and he is a formidable foe. Few can match his skill with the sword. Even together, you and I will find it difficult to take him alive without mortal harm to one side or the other. So you must continue to hone your skills and prepare for the day when we will face him. To complete the next stage of your training, you must do this. Go to Igarm River in eastern Thanalan and find the brazier we have placed there. By lighting it, you will draw the ire of the Lepidotes dwelling within the waters. Face the creatures in battle and master your new skills. The fight will not be easy, but if you take to heart what you have learned and let the crystal be your guide, you will triumph. It's probably easier to go this way. I could have gone to South Shroud. Brum, brum, bum, brum, brum, bum. Ugh. And that's it. God. This is a pretty boring set of job quests here. Good. You have mastered your new skills and made them your own, but much work remains to be done before you can face the traitor Sulk. We are close to finding him, as our net draws tighter, it grows ever more important we make ready for the moment when the fish must at last be landed. Got my second in my AoE combo, at least. And Black Mage. The Lie has another task to strengthen your connection with the Black. Freeze, okay. I see in your eyes the look of a man prepared to take on the daunting responsibilities of the Black Mage. There are few who know of our existence, even among those versed in the ways of magic. You will not even find mention of us in all but the most esoteric of texts. Yet the secrets of the dark art lie encrypted here, within the forbidden library of this sacrarium. Master himself deciphered and read the texts, some 100 years past. It is said the first of our kind were the favored of Null Thal, and it is he who entrusted them with the duty of sealing the Void Gate. But as you well know, the power of black magic lies in its great potential for destruction. The slightest errancy in its use may give rise to the most tragic of disasters. Of the disappearance of the Black Mages from Eorzea, Master says only, we must not repeat the errors of the past. Master has made it known to me what it is you must do next. Listen to this Listen to his words now with all your being. The land has drunk deep of the blood you spilled. And by this act, 3 souls of 3 races to Paladin have come. The fires of our order once burned black and full, yet long ago there were embers left to wane and very nearly die. These 3 souls are the keepers of the embers that remain, of all that we now are. In the hands of one who will usher our return, the Gem of Shatoto, testimony of our creed, will shine with new light. And by that light, the 3 keepers will be made your allies. An Amalja by the name of Kazag Shah awaits at Burgundy Falls in the east of Thanalan. Go to him. That is all. Dwell not on the fact that the Amalja are the sworn enemies of Ul'dah. It is not your place to question Master's will, for it is the will of Nald'thal himself. Go forth, Black Mage, and see the Void Gate sealed. Brum, brum, brum. Oh, that's right where we're gonna be. So. Welcome, Rogadin, chosen of Kukuruka, and bearer of the Gem of Shatoto. By the gem's power do our paths cross once more. At last the time spoken of in the prophecy has come, and yet I know nothing of he who would guide us. Come, tell me your name. M. Progression. I am Kazak Shah, a sorcerer of the Amalja, as were my forebears. I am the 4th of my line to walk this path, which brings me now to this land. As you well know, my kind bear the scorn of the Ul'dahs. It is for that reason that I must remain here, far from city walls. Great power this one has, but enough is it, Squire? Kazak Shah is terrifying to behold. Yes, he is both wise and kind. Good, warm, kind. These are my brethren in the Black, M, and now they are yours as well. Before you stand the Ixal, Dozol Melok, and the 269th Order Medicant of the Kobolds, Dazah. You have fed the ethereal currents with the blood of fiends. That the Gem of Shatoto radiates as it does in your presence is proof of your deeds, and a sign of what must yet be done. It falls to me to bear witness to your awakening, and to pass on to you the knowledge entrusted to me. Know that you must face death before your purpose can be fulfilled. It is to the Silent King in western Thanalan you must journey next. There too lies a planar fissure, and there too you must slake the land's thirst with the blood of the fiends which surge forth from it. Fear not, each of us shall journey to the Silent King, and there convene once more. Seek out first the Ixal Dozol Melach, and for your path is destined to first cross with his. When the deed before you is done, the gem of Shatoto will shine new with brilliance. I'll come back for you. Here are Golden Fleece. There. One more after this one. Alrighty. Is there anything new to level up on? No. Anybody else need stuff over here? You need some Mirror Knights. These count as Mirror Knights, so we can go and fight. Hey, we did it. Anybody else? Light mage. Warrior. Summoner. No. To the Silent King. Looks like we already are pretty close to end of stream time, so we might just finish up the Black Mage quest here before call it there. Close planar fissure. Strong black magic you need. You close, then come to dissolve Melloc once more. Zrock. I was fighting Airyman as a white mage 10 levels ago. Swat. Kazakh spoke true. Black is strong in him. You go now. Go see Daza. Utilize the plane of fissure. Fissure. Rift. Tear. Fissure. Use the power within you to seal it. Too early. It is as Kazakh Cha foretold. You are chosen him. You must return to him now. Yes, yes. Return and tell Kazakh Cha the deed is done. Ended. Over. Done. You have done well, Im, as I knew you would. Come, it is time now to return to Burgundy Falls. Couldn't just tell me here? Checking out Twitter, or not Twitter, checking out Discord. Brum bum. In progression of the black, you return to me victorious. The gem of Shatoto burns bright. You are indeed the heir of a dark ancient power, as Kukuruka foretold. I am reminded of a prophecy my great-grandfather uttered long ago. When four magi meet in a barren land, black power is veiled, woven by their hand. Where's my... Hold on. Oh, there it is. Shall see the fate of wickedness made stark, and the path to light shall be lit by dark. The black powers of Eld require no explanation, and you know that wickedness refers to the evil birthed by the void. That the seal holding the void gate shut will falter and fail is beyond doubt. Yet your deeds speak of determination and ability, and in them I spy hope. I have learned all of you that I must. I bestow upon you the knowledge kept by my line. Here now I speak an oath to discharge old grudges. By our power combined, I am Captain Planet. The Void Gate will be sealed anew. You have brought this old Amalja much happiness. Few believe the words of my great-grandfather. Was mocked and ridiculed, and worse, ignored. Yet your coming has fulfilled the prophecy he spoke. Him, the dark magic coursing through you shares a deep bond with the Void Gate. Should that portal be cast open, you will come to great peril. Temper yourself in both mind and body. When you are ready, return to this land and seek me out once more. Then, and only then, will I speak to you of your next task. Bum bum brum bum. Learned a new dark art. Alrighty. We are at level 41. We still need to do the Dragoon. I think it's exactly what we had last time. We did one of these roundups. We still need to do the Dragoon, the Warrior, the Scholar, and I don't remember if the Summoner required Garuda yet, or if that's later. But yeah. I'm guessing it will, because this MSQ quest is like 39, and probably within 5 levels. We'll have, or I guess 6 levels. We'll have defeated Garuda along the MSQ. That's gonna do it for me. Thank you all so much for watching. Anybody who might have stopped on by, anybody who is lurking, anybody who catches the VOD, if you wouldn't mind giving my stream a like, stream or the VOD a like, gets me out there, gets more eyes on my content. So I can have more people joining up and experiencing a progression style playthrough. And if you would like to catch one of these live streams, currently the best and easiest way to stay on top of it is to subscribe to the stream, subscribe to the channel, I mean, so that you can get those go live notifications. That's going to do it for me. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see you next time I see you.